making something of themselves. After graduating from the School of Hard Knocks, today they graduated from high school. A few months ago, you might have come across Don Laxo, Hank Perriman, or Curtis Harris and hurried right by them. A few months ago, they were like these homeless men, destitute and living, if you can call it that, in Grand Central Station. Well, today, these three men got their high school diplomas in a ceremony overlooking the concourse of their old home, Grand Central Station.
I think June 28, 1987 is my lucky day, and I hope to go on to bigger and better things.
It was a touching moment as 10 other once homeless New Yorkers stood with them, they ready to take their high school exams next month. Hank was the valedictorian today, and although his teacher couldn't be there, he had kind words.
She made teaching easy for her and easy for us to take. A lot of us hadn't been in classrooms for 20 or 30 years. She made it just as easy as getting up in the morning and having a cup of coffee.
It's said that you can't come home again. You can't return home again. And I certainly hope that that is true in this instance. This was their home, some of them for many years.
Hank says he lived on the streets for 10 years. You never know what's coming next, he said today. Life becomes trying to figure out where your next meal is coming from. Now, just what these new graduates will do with their diplomas isn't certain yet. Hank says he likes journalism. Don says for him, the learning isn't over yet. He plans to enter Fordham University in the fall.
It's going to be a challenge at my age. I'm in my early 50s, I'll say. And it's going to be a challenge. I'm going to do it, give it all that I have.
Don, by the way, will be starting college at the age of 52. The Salvation Army sponsors this high school equivalency program. The Board of Education provides the teacher. It is a way, said one of the graduates today, to help us help ourselves.
Train terminal, now dressed in caps and gowns instead of ragged clothing. CNN's Dave Monsees tells us about some very special high school graduates.
They held a proper garden party on the lawn behind the Salvation Army. Some came in bare feet. Some wore the streets on their faces. The homeless had come for lunch al fresco and to meet the people they once shared a bottle with. 15 graduates, or soon-to-be graduates, the Salvation Army plucked off their benches in Grand Central Station and offered a free crash course for a high school equivalency diploma. The first 3 in the program have now been accepted to Fordham University for the fall.
On this 28th of June, 1987, it's a great day for the guys that have graduated the course here.
We all plan on going to college for how it blows going to take, and after that, who knows?
Hank Perriman would be valedictorian of the first class of its kind.
We didn't know what side the tassel went on. I didn't know whether you wore this thing frontwards or backwards. I ain't done one of these things since confirmation in 3rd grade. He told me you're doing a valedictorian. I had to go down to find out what valedictorian was.
Salvation Army Captain Sven Ljungholm came up with the idea, and it just mushroomed.
The initial group that took the exam had 8 prepared classes, which means they probably had about 15 or 16 classroom hours, which means everything was there. It was simply a matter of bringing it out, perhaps reaffirming what they already knew.
They marked their success by marching through the halls of Grand Central, triumphantly trotting on the same floor they once slept on. For grown men, it was still a giddy moment getting that diploma that Captain Ljungholm said might soon mean a ticket to a better life, that the graduates here might someday take trains to the suburbs from Grand Central instead of living here like they did just 3 months ago. Hank Perriman was visibly nervous when he stepped up to speak, and yes, he had looked up the meaning of valedictorian.
With their guidance and some gentle prodding on their behalf, this is the result. There's 3 of them now, and hopefully thousands of more to help alleviate the homeless problem around the world. Thank you very much.
Come the end of July, the graduates of this unusual class of 1987 plan a graduation field trip to Washington. The Salvation Army hopes that this spirit of self-help will appeal to someone there, and that President Reagan will greet them. Dave Monsees, CNN, New York.
And coming up next, we'll take you to a suburb of Los Angeles for a celebration marking...
We have another story, but this time it's a success story. At Grand Central Station today, 15 homeless people walked through the terminal where they once slept. They returned triumphantly and proud for their graduation.
I'm very pleased to present to you the graduating class of 1987 from the GED program of the Central Citadel Corps.
It's part of a program sponsored by the Salvation Army, a program to help the homeless earn high school equivalency diplomas. The valedictorian and 2 other graduates will begin classes at Fordham University in the fall.
Hopefully it's going to happen a lot of times here and a lot of times in other places. Hopefully the program will catch on.
Some of the graduates had been on the streets for as long as 20 years, but now they found the confidence to put their past behind them and shoot for their dreams.
I feel great. I feel like this is an opportunity for me now to go get my job, you know, do anything I want to.
I never dreamt I'd be here today. It's just amazing, you know.
Some things are possible. All things are possible.
Well, the graduates are planning a class trip to Washington, D.C. They're hoping that while in Washington, they'll have a chance to meet the president. Steve?
Up in Dannemora, New York, a prison district
promoted by such institutions as Columbia and Yeshiva universities.
Well, this season of caps and gowns, diplomas, and high expectations, there was a special graduation ceremony today at Grand Central Station. Some homeless men found new hope where they once found only a meager shelter. Alice Look reports.
It was not the typical graduation exit march, not for these 3 graduates whose walk through Grand Central Terminal was charged with memories. For these men, Grand Central was once home of last resort. They were among the city's anonymous homeless, with no future, no hope, until they enrolled in a program for a high school equivalency diploma run by the Salvation Army. Today, they were back at the terminal to pick up their degrees. Also honored today were other students, formerly homeless people, who have completed the program but have not yet taken the test for their diplomas.
It said that you can't come home again. You can't return home again. And I certainly hope that that is true in this instance.
I just get sick of living the way that I was living, and I knew that there had to be a way out. Of course, you see, I'm disabled, and it was getting very difficult for me to get around and cope with the younger crowd that was here. I knew that my age was against me, so I just heard about the program at the Salvation Army, and I grabbed the opportunity that came along.
44-year-old Henry Perryman had been homeless for 10 years. He gave the valedictory speech. Besides receiving their diplomas, all of today's grads will attend Fordham University in the fall. They talked about some of their dreams they are able to have for the first time in years.
I had dreams of getting, after finishing college, you know, getting a job, worthwhile, and, you know, maybe settling down with raise a family or something like that, you know. Just coming every day, you know, every American family, you know, one of those things.
Hopefully be able to prove myself that I'll be able to go into journalism, foreign correspondence, some of these, not taking the job away from you.
At today's ceremony, Captain Ljungholm said he hoped the graduates and future graduates of this program would never find themselves back in Grand Central Terminal, except as commuters running for a train. And then after the ceremony, there was a walk through Grand Central's waiting room, a detour that brought painful memories. But overall, there was a sense of promise and pride today, perhaps summed up best by one of the grads.
This is like a little reminder that, you know, it's going to keep me going. Every time I feel like, you know, I'm getting a little lazy, I can always walk through here again and then get my little kick in the you-know-where and let me know that if I want to stay out of here, I just got to, you know, bear down a little bit more. I can't start getting a little careless.
Alice Look, News 4, Manhattan.
19 other homeless men and women are enrolled in this Salvation Army program, and there are hopes that it will expand.
That's wonderful. They're all going to Fordham University. That's terrific. Well, when we return.
La capitana Joy Hardy estuvo a cargo de ayudar a los nuevos graduados a colocarse la toga y el birrete para la ceremonia de la graduación. Ellos esperan que con la preparación que han adquirido y con la ayuda que le presta el Ejército de Salvación puedan obtener un empleo que les permita subsistir para dejar de ser desamparados que duermen en las calles de Nueva York. Bueno, y ahora...